Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Real Life Reviews. Today we're going to be discussing 3 different types of pumps for your above ground vinyl pool. There's 3 different types of pumps we're going to talk about, namely all Intex. We're going to talk about the original pump that comes with the pool, the most commonly purchased pump after the pool's been purchased, which is the 12-inch Intex sand filter, and then we're going to talk about the large pump, the 16-inch Intex sand filter. So pump flow rate and system flow rate. Pump flow rate is just how much volume your pump can pump through itself, okay? The system flow rate is how much water can go through your pool, through your system, and then back through your pump again. We'll talk about both either way in case you're a nerd just like me. So the pump flow rate for the original pump that comes with it, they claim it's 1,000 gallons an hour. I don't see that. The system flow rate, they say that it's 750 gallons an hour. I just don't see that either. Now, I'm not going to stand outside with a milk jug and try to prove that, but I can just tell by the force that's coming out of it. I don't see it as 1,000 gallons an hour. But nonetheless, I guess under perfect, absolute, wonderful circumstances inside of a closed-door studio on flat level surface with no wind, no rain, no anything, you might get 1,000 gallons an hour. And if you do, that's perfect. But this is Real Life Reviews, and here we have things called elements. Now for the 12-inch model. The pump flow rate is 2,100 gallons an hour. We've proved that in the past. And the system flow rate is 1,600 gallons an hour. As far as the 16-inch sand filter, the pump rate is 3,000 gallons an hour, and the system flow rate is 2,450 an hour. Let's talk about maximum pool sizes. The original filter that comes with the pool, the max you can have is 6,000 gallons. For the 12-inch sand filter, it's 12,800 gallons. And for the 16-inch sand filter, it's 19,600 gallons. Let's talk about the media differences here. So the original pump has a cartridge filter. The other 2 pumps, the 12 and the 16-inch pump, are both sand filters. The cartridge filter has to be replaced every 2 weeks at $5 a pop. It could get a little pricey over a swimming season. The sand filters, both of them, the sand is good for 5 years. As long as you lay it out at the end of the season on a tarp or something, and you dry it out and then you store it again, that sand will last you 5 years. And the difference here between the 12 and the 16 is that the 12-inch pump holds approximately 50 pounds. It has a fill line inside the main housing, and the 16-inch pump holds about 120 pounds, which is almost 3 bags. So in a recap, for the media, the little pump uses a cartridge filter changed out every 2 weeks. The 12-inch pump uses 1 bag of sand over 5 years, which is about $10. And then your 16-inch pump uses 3 bags of sand over 5 years, which is about $30. Let's talk about runtime. The manufacturer for the small pump that comes with the pool states that you should not run that pump for more than 8 hours at a time. It will burn up. It will significantly decrease the life of the pump. So I did the math, and the math checks out. In order for you to filter that pool the way you should, that pump should be running 24 hours a day, wide open. With the 12-inch and the 16-inch, these have built-in digital timers. I did the math for my pool, which is an 18 by 48, and if I want crystal clear water with my 12-inch pump, I'm going to want to run it about 6 to 7 hours. It doesn't really matter which time of the day, but I run mine in the evenings, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. For the 16-inch pump, I'm deciding how long I should run it, but when I do the math, I need to run that pump about 4 to 5 hours to keep my pool filtered correctly. Now, I have 2 pumps. Obviously, you've seen that by now. I actually have 3, but I have 2 pumps in service. I have the 12-inch and the 16-inch. The only reason why I have the 16-inch in line with the 12-inch is because I found it on a remarkable deal. I didn't want to pass it by. It was an amazing deal through Amazon, and I'm going to leave that link in the description where I bought it from. And to me, it's the difference between drinking out of a water hose or drinking from a fire hydrant. And the way I have it timed out is that I don't want them on at the same time, and I do run them in the evening time. because it costs less. It costs less to run your dryer at night. It costs less to run your AC unit. It costs less to cook at night. It certainly costs less to run your pumps at night. Depending if you live here in North Mississippi, I know that's how it is because I'm a nerd. I know how much it costs. I run one pump for 4 hours and I run the other pump for 5. Now that's a total of 9 hours. Do you have to have it? No, but no, you don't. But I like the water crystal clear, and that's just the way I want it. So earlier we talked a little bit in the way of energy consumption. I would tell you that the small pump only has about 1/8 of a horsepower. Even if you could measure it in horsepower, the math checks out at about 1/8 of a horsepower. And it is a serious energy consumer. And the reason why I say that is because it has to run constant. You can't shut it down. It gets real hot. The hotter it gets, the more amps it draws. And it's just a heavy energy consumer. It never can take a break. So the middle energy consumer is going to be the 12-inch because it runs on a little bit longer cycle at about 6 to 7 hours for an 18 by 48 inch pool, and it has 1/3 of a horsepower, 0.33. The one that consumes the least amount of energy is the 16-inch sand filter, and the reason why is because it has 3/4 horse, but it only runs for about 4 to 5 hours, and that's all up to you however long you want to run it. The pump doesn't get as hot, so it uses less draw. So in a recap about these pumps, I think you get what I'm saying by now. The original OEM pump that comes with the pool is significantly undersized. You need to step it up to a 12 or 16 inch. If the 16 inch is only a few dollars more than the 12 inch, jump on it. If financially you can only afford a 12 inch, then that is going to be more than what you need. I'm telling you, the 12 inch has done me just right now for 3 years. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to leave the link for the 12 and the 16 inch in the description box below. If you want the link for the little pump, you're going to need to go to somebody else's video. I appreciate you stopping by. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If this is your first time stopping by, consider subscribing for future weekly content. Until next week, this is Real Life Reviews.